Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well today. Just making sure everything is squared away before I get into it. Give me just a few minutes trying to get into everything. If you are in chat, say hi. I do have my 3D printer going right now, so it's going to be a little loud, and I apologize ahead of time for that. Oh, you can hear all my clicks too. That's bad. Oh yeah, you can definitely hear that. Alrighty. So, I wanted to come on here to give y'all the full update, or what it looks like for the Monveri Business Suite. There are some things that are not active right now on the demo. I mean, this isn't really like the full-fledged demo. This is like an actual store that I just did as a demo. So, but this is the Monveri suite that I've been building since February, and it's just really, 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 really cool setup that I want to show everybody, especially crafters, because this is more towards the crafters than anybody. Crafters, makers, small to medium businesses. Um, so I think it's a really powerful tool. I'm actually utilizing it full fledged on my system for Carolina Thread Place, and it has sped up my time so much, and it allows me to do so many things very, very quickly. Um, so this video is purposed to go through everything. So as people drop in, have questions, by all means, definitely ask the question. I will make every effort to answer all questions that appear. I apologize. I do have a 3D printer. Well, it's my right, but I'm pointing that way, which is actually to my right, not my left. Um, I do have a 3D printer running, which is really cool. It's one of the five. Um, I do have four more right here. You can kind of see this one. That's an actual 3D printer right there. But anyways, let's get a few more people to filter in before I start going over everything. But this is pretty much the dashboard. It's editable, so you can actually change it up. If you want to, you can add things. Um, like strip balance, which will be empty because I don't have Stripe connected to here. Oh, that's curious. That's new. Didn't see that issue. Yep, it's fine. So, I did say that there is a register. So as you can see here, there is a register system. So this is a very quick point of sale thing. You can scan, you can look up, customers, or not customers, you can look up items, you have your cash, you have your credit, which will be through Stripe. Gift certificate, so you can use gift certificate as a payment, store credit, other, so if you take it as Venmo or what have you, you can put it there. Custom sell item, you can actually put a custom item in here. You can void, you can do a return if there's you can actually do searches for anything. There's going to be nothing because there is no point of sale sales on this particular account. Even though it says it's 120, that's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, hold up, is there? Hold up. Oh, look at that, there is. All right, so let's actually do a return. So let's say this person. So let's leave a search right here. When does that purchase? March. So we're going to go February 1st to today with this wreath. Let's search. Okay. Let's do 117. Okay, that's fine. That's a bug. I haven't tested it because I don't really do returns for myself. But what's cool is let's add a couple of items. So if we add a couple items, we can actually update here. We can type it in that we want 10 items. Oop, we don't want an update. We can suspend if we want to, and this allows us to do more. Or we can resume and we put it right back into play, and there you go. We can credit it out. Of course, Stripe is who our credit card processor is. If you look down here, subtotal tax, everything is situated. Discount, if you want to do a discount, it shows up here, all your applied discounts. If you want to get rid of it, remove, and go from there. So that's kind of the register system in a nutshell. I mean, it's a register. And then once you go through sales, you have your few receipts. This is for today. As you can see here, it's been voided, which is true. It was voided. This right here, you can have a receipt. Design. So we're going to, and it's gone dark because I've pulled up the one thing here. Let's see, I want this one right here. Let's put that in there, see if that's right. Nope, that looks like crap. Because let's try another one. Let's do spool only. There we go. So you can actually do all the different things. You can set it up, which all of this is correct. Except for this. And as you can see, it's updating the receipt for you. So if we save the settings and then preview, I don't know if you can't see it, but you can actually see the receipt. And this right here is your digital receipt, which actually turns all of these icons on if you have it set up. And it just gives you a real cool receipt. So we're going to go back to here. And we're going to go back to full screen. And this is just like your receipt setup, as you can see. Next is online orders. Online orders, this is where you have all of your online sales. So if you have integrations, like I have it set up to integrate into Shopify. I'm working on eBay. Me and Etsy are fighting, but I'm working on Etsy. Amazon, BigCommerce, these are already connected. They're not connected in this one. eBay we're still working on. Etsy, like I said, we're fighting. So once all this is done, the website is actually the built-in storefront, which is in website settings here, which we do have. If you click on it, but none of the items are actually showing up there, so we're good. I'll show that here shortly. So with that being said, you can do a hero banner, which is the big banner that they have, and then you can choose your size and all that stuff, or choose whatever. You can even choose your color, your storefront logo, all that fun stuff. So back to the integrations. This is all stuff that I'm working on, trying to get all that situated. Other than Etsy and eBay, everything else is pretty much working. BigCommerce is a lot of people use for their website. I'm also I'm looking to add Wix and a few others. So as more people come on board, I'll add more and more. Product mappings, this is where you would actually add a mapping. So you would choose the platform. You would do the local products, which would be So we would do this. We would find out what the marketplace SKU is, and so on and so forth. Orders. This is where all of your orders from all the platforms go. So the importance of this is where it syncs. So I have it set from my store that it doesn't auto sync. I want it to stay in here until I personally see it. But that's me. Not everyone's like that, and some people would want it to auto sync so that the inventory is updated and all that, which is totally fine. I get it. So you would do that. Online sales is where you can actually view the orders is where you will do all the syncing of all the marketplaces. And then sync history, this is just something that you can see and go, oh, okay, it just updated, like 20 minutes ago. All right, so payments. Stripe Connect is just who we go through as our primary payment processor. If you don't have one, you can create one, and then you get connected, or if you already have a Stripe, you can connect it. And this is just allows you to quickly, get into it. And it allows Apple Pay, Google Pay, Klarna, Afterpay, and ACH payments on top of your standard credit card payments. So platform fee. There is a pay as you go, which means you don't pay a monthly fee. You just pay a 1% on top of Stripe's current fee, which I think is 2.9. This is as of April 24th, 2026. Their current fee is 2.9 plus 20 cent. So the platform fee makes it 3.9 plus 20 cent, which is 10 cent cheaper than Square at this time. So payment gateways, Stripe setup, you click on that, it takes you right back. Credit card pass through. This is once you are a paid fee, like if you're paying $49.99, $149, or the enterprise, you can actually, this won't show up unless you are paid, where you can pass the credit card fee to your customer. And a lot of times now people are more inclined to pay the service fees and stuff. That's what this is. I just tack on a 0.5 fee pass through for those charges. ACH, bank statement, people generally use this whenever there's like a invoice or something. Excuse me. Payouts and balance. Again, you can, if you have a good standing with Stripe, they will allow you to set up auto or instant payouts and stuff instead of waiting the 2 days normal. So PayPal is set up, and you just have to add all your credentials. Authorize.net, if you have Authorize.net, you would set it up this way. Same with Square. Even though that I talk crap about Square, I do have integration with them because not everyone wants to stay, they don't want to go through Stripe. Also, buy now, pay later, Klarna, Afterpay, and Amazon. And Amazon Pay is set up. Apple Pay and Google Pay is also set up, and it goes through Stripe. Gift certificates. You will now have the ability with my back office to sell gift certificates, and it is maintained in this system, and you can view it. You can print it, and that's the kind of thing. And then you just scan this at your office, or I'm sorry, at the store, and it will, it will update this part right here. So, and gift certificates and store credits are phenomenal marketing techniques, especially store credit, because like this one has $20.51. This person that owns that, most likely they will come in and spend $35, $36, $40 because they're getting this part for free in a way, even though it's not, and they paid for it. There a lot of times with your store credits, people think store credit is free money, even though it's just money given back to them, and plus you have the product to resell. Our CRM is very, which is customer relations management, is, as you can see, very robust. Everything in here is fake. As far as I know, fake data, because I created a setup for fake data. And you can go in, edit. As you can see, it's got all their information. Are they taxable? Do they have payment terms? Who are they signed up, or who's their rep and stuff along those lines? And that's pretty much it. Quotes. So invoices cannot be quotes, but quotes turn into invoices. What do I mean by that? Well, with an invoice, if you open it, you can send it to their email. You can set surcharges and various things. You can even CC or BC them. But with quotes, let's open it up. Let's go to copy the link. Let's go into it. I guess it expired. Oh, it's okay. Never mind. Not sure. Yeah, so this one has expired, so I won't be able to look at that one. So there is all that situated. So let's just create a new quote, just so that we have it. Corporate gift package, customer, we're just going to use that person. And notice that I just did this right here. So this just adds to the invoice for you. So if you have a corporate gift package that is normal, that people are constantly you're constantly sending this out, you click on it, and it automatically puts those items into stock or into the invoice for you. Then you can charge tax, manual rate, which I don't have it set up for this one, but you can even, if you want to, you can even add groups where you can add product, and the group you can do pick multi, which allows you to allows your customer to choose multiple ones. All required means the entire group is required if selected, and so on and so forth. So let's get rid of that. Let's go back to this and put it in. Let's create the quote. So now that we have the quote, we can copy the link, and then we should be able to. Here you go. So what is this? What's busy on this? So as you can see, there's check marks, and as you click on them, they cross out, and the price down here changes. So as you can see, the customer can choose which item or items they want. Now, if this was set up to take payment, there would be a pay right here. They can also decline the quote or save the quote. Once you save the quote, you get an email saying that they've updated this quote for you. Now, if they decide to go ahead and quote-unquote pay for it, they do it, and it goes into your invoices. services. These are all the services that you offer. You set up all your services. So this right here would be great for like consultants. Excuse me, like your nail salons and stuff like that. Massage therapy, pretty much any service industry. This is just where you set up all your services. Appointments. These are your appointments. This is what you currently have. You can click on it, create your own. You can do it as a list or as a calendar. And there's also where you can subscribe because this isn't set up. You have that. So appointment settings, and then calendar feeds to generate. And then what this does is you subscribe it to your Outlook and stuff. And anytime that there's appointments or anything, you can pull it up. So staff availability, you choose your staff, and you can say, okay, they're available during these times on these days. Save availability, and if they got any time off, you add your time off here. Booking settings. This is massive. So this right here, this is where you would actually do your online bookings, as you can see. Oh, there we go. Let's do that. Let's turn this on. We need to turn this on. So 15:30, oh, that's good. Buffer between, we want to put a 15 buffer between. Save settings. We go here, copy link, and now you have a full-fledged with a few clicks. Oh, something's missing. Give me a second, because that's receipt that needs to be turned off. I apologize about that. I have it set up that it alerts me so I can see what is the wrong. Interesting. Okay. So, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I do know this one is working. So this is a good example of, this is actually my setup here. So you can choose what you want, and not everything requires somebody. So like annual web hosting does not require anybody. So you kind of have to choose what you want to show up. So we do web development, go to next. We choose any available or our name, and you can actually have this turned on that it will choose it or not. So we're just going to use me. And then you can choose slots. So you choose which time, because it's a 30-minute. You hit next. You fill out all the information here, and next, and boom, appointment is confirmed. Since this is on my one, you won't be able to see it in this one. So invoice settings, because this is a demo, there's some settings that I have to create and fix, and this is where the calendar feed is. So you do this right here, and this right here will show everything. So like this right here will allow your software to add it to the calendar and everything. And then there's the iCalendar subscription and it's all that. So staff services, this is where, oh, I think this was the issue, actually. Let's see if this was it. Be funny if that was it. Nope. Okay. We'll work on that. Invoice settings. So this right here is if you want to do invoicing, you have your invoice prefix, all different things like that. Your payment methods, this is where you configure it, payment reminders, late fee policy, where you can actually set it up that after so long they pay extra amount and stuff like that. Quote settings, this is where you would, what do you want your quotes to be, what's the default expiration, which you can change. Do you want to CC store on quotes, which means you want a copy of it every time, and then additional where you want them to go. So here you would choose which one for credit cards, ACH. You want to do PayPal, Amazon, Pay in Store, all variable ways. And what I would suggest to do is like whatever your IP address is, I would put it here so that it doesn't capture every time that you view the invoice. But that's between you and yourself. So templates. Templates are part of the quote and invoice system, and you can choose which ones you want to put it on. And this is where you would put pre-fill these individual items. So if you add a group, you can actually add a group. Add a group, and then you can add an item. So we're going to do Tumblr, whatever. We want 5 of those, and oh, it didn't even show. And those are 15 each. And this star right here means that you want that one to be pre-selected because it's pick one. And then you save the template, and then we go back and we create a new invoice. We pull here, we grab it, and then there's the Tumblr. So subscription plans. This is where you would set up subscriptions for various things. So you would choose the service that they would chase. So like annual maintenance plan would be a good one. So I don't know why it's doing that. So we would do annual maintenance plan. What is the frequency for payment? Description price. I think it was $150. Setup fee was $45, and then we can charge tax, which we're not. Season start, we're not going to choose that. Season end, because if you have like pool cleaning, you're not going to do pool cleaning in the middle of winter. So we save, we have it, and then we have here, we create a new subscription, we choose a customer. Do we have any so we're going to choose Brian Carter. We're going to choose this. We're going to start it today. There's no price override, and boom, done. And then we send the invoice to that person. And once that's done, they sign up. Everything should be automatic moving out. So loyalty. The loyalty program is very it's a way for you to give back to your customers. I don't have it set up on this. Like again, this is a demo. So for every point, for every dollar, how many points do they get? To get $1, how many points is to get $1 back? And then minimum points to redeem. And then you can do an enable tier where this sets up here. And then of course your customers who are currently on the loyalty program. Consignment. Consignment is another thing that you have to enable. You can show on receipt consignment indicator so that if you look at the receipt, it's a consignment item or what have you. For the fee structure, this is what portion of the item comes to you versus everything what goes to the other person. You can do a flat fee per item, or you can do a percentage. That's discussed between you and that person. And then how long do you keep the item? Expiration, alert, auto mark for return, no action, allow minimum price, stuff like that. Then payout says minimum. This is at what point do you pay the consignor? And then you go check cash store credit, ACH, blah blah blah. You can choose all of that, and you can all do that through Stripe Connect, PayPal, or Cash App. Your consigners are here if you have any. This is all the inventory items in that are considered consignments, and then payouts. This is where you would show what your pending payouts are, your consigners with balances and stuff like that. Big thing is inventory. This is where it is huge with everything. As you can see, it is a lot of different things. So product name, SKU, barcode, category, and category can be massive. Who the vendor is, vendor SKU, so that this is what shows up on the PO. Product URL, pictures, you can either throw it in here, drag drop, browse, or you can download it from their website. Price, cost, sale price if it's on sale. Unit of sale, like is it for each, is it per pound, ounce, bundle, what have you. Quantity on hands, reorder point, so once this drops below this, it's going to say, hey, you need to order this. Order quantity, this is how many you have to order for one, and then of course active. Bin location, where the product is stored. Short description, and if we're going to put this on the website, we're going to do that. And it's a physical product, so we're going to save. So let's say that we have a paint acrylic paint. So we're going to update this. So we're going to save. Well, we're going to do a quick add to variants. So let's do custom. We do pack size. So we can do single. And you can use the arrow keys to go up and down. Double pack. 6 pack. And then we do 12 pack. So the 12 pack is $32.99. So we just do 1, we do 2, we do 6, and we do 12. And because each one has various pricing, so $32.99, and let's say, let's take, give me a second, I'm trying to get my calculator to show up. $32.99 divided by 12. So retail, we're looking at $2.75 a piece. So for the single, let's make that $4. Just because you're kind of breaking it up, and your cost for, you're looking at $1. And single, you're going to make more anyways because you want people to buy more of the dual and all that stuff. So with the double pack, let's just make it $7.50. And then for the 6 pack, so if we do 32 divided by 12 times 2, oh, sorry, divide by 2 times 6. So we make it $23.99. So we kind of entice people to purchase up, you know. So $23.99 divided by 6 comes out to be $3.99, which, you know, it's still cheaper than that. So let's actually bring that down to probably $21.99. And make this let's do $7.89. Okay, that looks good. So the more you buy, the cheaper they are individually. Because you still will make a lot of money. And then we say variants, and we have this on the web. So let's go on to online orders, go to website settings, go to the shop. So now we have this, and you can choose your options. So now you have, just that quick, you have an e-commerce site. Done. Go back to inventory. Categories, this is where you would set up all your categories. When you click on it, it will show you all the items in the category. You can edit it, and top level means that it is the top category. None of these have subcategories. If they did, it would look differently. Units of measure, this is where you would add your various things like per ounce, per pound, what have you. Bulk image uploader, this is where you would throw all of your product inventory into it. All you need to do is make sure that the product or the image picture is the SKU name. Scan inventory, this right here is what you would do to not, if you don't have a purchase order, you would scan this to get your inventory in very quickly. Barcode relationship, so like I sell thread, which a lot of y'all know, and I do not. Oh, I do have a box. So for like me, what I would do is I could scan that barcode right there, which is not the barcode of this thread, but you scan that barcode and it will update my inventory by 3 because 3 are in that box. It allows for quick inventory system. This is where you would set your adjustments. This is kind of an inventory counts setup for certain things. Inventory comparison, this is phenomenal. As you can see here, we're going to open this back up, resume it. So this right here, once this was added to this count, you get a snapshot of your inventory at the time of this. And then you also have your manual count sheets, as you can see here. You can also say, well, nope, I didn't count 6, I counted 5. You know, or you can say, okay, well, I manually counted 63. So it's going to tell you that it was typed in. This is just a audit reason. Or you can just say, nope, I want that. We don't need to count that one. And then we can just close it all out and cancel. So I don't have it set up yet, but there is a built-in label maker. I have it set up for my store, and I have these awesome labels here, and as you can see, I have it set for QR code because I have a QR code reader, this really inexpensive barcode scanner, a regular barcode, title, price, and SKU, and all of this is printed, and it's using this system here. Kits. This is where you use components and product to make kits. So if you are a maker and you want to make sure that you have enough, like if you bring in all your components and you have a customer who wants 50 of an item, you can come into here, your components or your kits, and you can create a new kit and say, well, you have your kits in here, and when you open it and you're like, okay, I may have all the components, I may not, let me order it, or no, I already have everything, so I can do it. And then this is your this is what you would do your inventory of, like, and there's nothing here that's a kit, so obviously but this way you can this is your bill of material is all in here. Component stock, this is a quick reference to see all the components that you have that are currently in stock. And of course, here's your components where you would actually add your components and stuff like that. Bundles. Bundles are product based only, so only products can go into a bundle. So if you have a gift basket, or like with me, I have patches that I put together into a set, or dice would fall into this. Wholesale, self-explanatory. This is B2B, so if you do sell to other businesses and they get a certain pricing, like each person has a certain price, they get a certain discount. There's annual volume if you want to set that up. These are your orders that you have that you need to fill for your wholesale client: draft, confirmed, shipped, delivered. These are invoices of what you've sent to them, and so on. And then settings is just like you can enable it and do all this different things. You got your payment terms set up here, all that. Purchase orders. This is you purchasing from other people. So like here, Southern Thread Supply Co. Not a real company, but you get the idea. And this is where you would, because it's under and received, you can't really modify it. So let's create a new purchase order. We go in here, we choose the vendor, let's do them. We choose, well, you would have a billing and you would have your address. You can even drop ship stuff straight to customers using this system. This is where you would manually put in the customer's information in, or if you're doing it in a long or multiple times, you can create a shipping address under saved addresses on to the left. So we create it, and now this is where you can do custom items, you can do components, and then you can do products. So let's do wreath. So let's say we need this. We order 10 at $15, and we save. So boom, we got it all situated. We hit submit for approval. Once we know it's good, it's ready to go, you send to the vendor through email. You don't have to save the PDF and send it if it's built into this. So if I hit send to vendor, it will go to Lisa right here, and then of course she'll reply and you'll see it in yours. This right here is your vendor's setup. This is where you set up all your vendors, all their information. As you can see, this is where you would set up your bill to, your ship to, and your customer's information. Expenses, this is just where you would put all your expenses, and kind of set budgets. This is where your reoccurring expenses will go, and I'll be right back. Give me just a few. Nope, I'm good. Never mind. Sorry. Accounts payable. So if you have anything that's pending, this is where you would kind of put it, and then your expense reports are all right here. Employees. So you have your user management. This is the people that this is where you would set up to have them. These are users for this system, and you can add a user, full name, email address, or username. This is what you would set up for them. Email address. This is for password reset, sending out schedules and stuff. Type in a password that would be just, unique to them for one time, and then their role. Roles and permissions, you can add unlimited to what you want, and when you click on it, this is all the accesses that you can give them. Commission. So if you are commission based by sales, or like if you want to do a gift certificate commission, all that's built into here, and then you can choose who gets access to it. Schedule. So this is something cool. Let's set a schedule for me. I work. This is all good. I'm working those. We're going to do that, and it's very quick. And this 9 to 6 is actually set up in the settings, and I'll show you that here in a second. So for next week, we want to make sure that we have the same schedule. We just copy, boom, done. So we have the same exact schedule, as you can see. And it is not the 25th, so I don't know why it's showing the 25th on here. Time clock. So this is where you would generate a pin for your employees, and this is where they would clock in and clock out right here. All right, now reports. Now this is the enterprise report system. This is being modified on a daily basis, adding stuff and everything. You click on it and you can look at everything, like our sales per day for each day, and along those lines. So there's a lot of different things, like your purchase histories and stuff. Just something to play around with. Social media is pending, but this is something that will be set up where you can do product pushes to the various things. Support is exactly that, is where you would submit a ticket to Monveri to look at anything. Settings. So this is where you would set up, like you put your logo on, which will show up on your website and stuff. It could, and then you can update your website to be different. Store information, your hours. So this is where that 9 to 6 is showing up on the system. System preferences, what's your default tax rate, which would be your local tax, obviously. Auto void transactions at end of day. So if you at midnight it auto closes the register. And this is where you would set up an alert that if a variance is above this or below, if the register is above or below this variance, so if it's +5 or -5, it will be marked, hey, there's a variance issue. Branding. So this right here, I want to make it very nice for y'all. I want it to be your own. So there's dark mode. So you can make it dark mode. You can change if you want it all to be a certain color. And this also affects your register as well, as you can see. So if you want royal or purples, you can change it. And this is what it looks like with that. I just gonna go back to my default because that's my brand's colors. Links page. So this right here is where you can actually add like Facebook, all these various things, and it will be here. And then once you save, you go here, and you can actually send it. There's nothing there, so it's gonna fail. But this is a nice little thing that you can just have like a link on the bottom of your page or your email and stuff and say, hey, this is all of our links. So it's kind of like a link tree. Mail settings, this is just where you would set it up so it will send out emails. All stores will have the Monveri set up, but you can always change it to something else. Schedule tasks, this is your ability to turn on. So if you do have marketplace orders, you would turn this on. You would turn logging on, and you go from there. Auto close, if you do turn it on, you have to turn it on here, kind of thing. Shipping and tracking, we are in the process of going away from 17 track and going to the actual shipping of UPS and FedEx and USPS. Surcharges, this is where you can set up surcharges for various things that will automatically go into your invoices. But right now it's just here. But this is like your general location. This should be in quotes and invoices, honestly. My plan. So this right here is where you would fill out your billing information, and because this is the enterprise, everything is selected. So if you are the pay-as-you-go or the starter, which is $49, only one of these would be checked and none of these would be checked, but you can always add on.